Upstanding 2.0 isn't about one big feature. It's about making future changes easier, cleaner, and more scalable. In this devlog, I'm tracking behind-the-scenes progress toward that goal, including a configuration approach that didn't pan out and a Swift UI migration that did. If you found this video at all interesting, please consider subscribing. So when I first sat down to start the development on this project, I had just found out about Swift configurations. It's a new library from Apple that is meant to help your application configurations, secrets, API keys, things like that be a little bit more secure and obfuscated in the code base. I don't have a whole lot of secrets in the app. It's really just my analytics key. Today I inject that into the application through CI as a build setting that gets into the app. It makes it so I don't have to commit it into GitHub. That's kind of a secure way to handle it. And I was really hoping that Swift configurations would make it just that much more secure. Unfortunately, after spending about 3 hours trying to integrate it into the app, it just really wasn't working the way that I wanted it to. I was still trying to inject the key through CI, but the way that Swift configurations works, it really needs to be there in the code at compile time, and apparently environment variables just don't work that way with Xcode Cloud, and that's okay. It was a good lesson learned. It was a fun little SDK to play with. Unfortunately, it just didn't work out. Something that did work out, though, was converting over to Swift UI. This is something I've been meaning to do for a long time. If you're not familiar, Swift UI is Apple's recommended new UI framework. It's a more declarative syntax where you can really encode, define how the UI comes together. Upstanding is currently written in AppKit, which is the older way of doing UI. And on top of that, I did a lot of the work in storyboards. This was the project that I learned macOS development with. And so when I first started it many years ago, I didn't know what I was doing, and I fell back on things that were a little bit more familiar. Since then, Swift UI came out, and it makes things a whole lot easier. So I started out making smaller building blocks. The reusable components within the preference pane was kind of where I thought. I have a whole bunch of new features that I want to be adding in Upstanding 2.0, some of which will be behind a paywall as more premium features. And having this reusability will make iterating what is not a premium feature a whole lot easier. Once I was happy with these individual building blocks, I switched over to using Claude code to help get me over the finish line. I found that Claude and all these different AI agents work a whole lot better when you give them examples to draw from. So you can see here, I'm saying, look at these example views that I've already set up, use that to go build the rest of the preferences window. Ultimately, this saved me a few hours, so that time that was lost with Swift configurations was easily made up with Claude. I had Claude integrate the Swift UI version of the preferences pane next to the existing one so that I could compare and contrast. They're pretty close. There's a few things with Swift UI that can't be done that I could do with storyboards before. I didn't feel like spending too much time going back and forth trying to get it perfect. For now, this is good enough. I'll do one more pass of polish, at least one more pass of polish, before ultimately shipping 2.0. So this gets me what I need to continue doing development on the new features. So I'm pretty happy. So that's it. That's our first devlog on the channel and for Upstanding 2.0. In the next devlog, I'm going to explore how to implement subscriptions, paywalls. I do intend to add some premium features to the app. Everything that is in the app today will remain subscription free. Some of the new features will be behind that paywall. Some won't. We'll figure it out as we go. If you want to learn along with me, I hope you'll consider subscribing. I'll see you in the next one.